Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Schawl is with us this morning. He's brought with him Officer Raglani. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's good to have you both with us here today. So here we go. It's another month, another new month, and a month that has a little bit of a different character to it, Chief.
It does. It does. The return of the fall semester at IUP in September, October, November, things definitely start to get a little more. There's a little more volume to Indiana, and that leads the police department to certainly be a bit more active.
Yeah.
But that's okay. This is a wonderful time of year, and we embrace it. And everyone has been great so far, so it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to first and foremost, in keeping with my interest of reacclimating town with its police department, to introduce Mike Raglani. Mike Raglani is a sergeant with the Indiana Police Department.
Mm-hmm.
He's here with me today. I know that he's got a lot of other things that he needs to do today, but he's a sergeant with the Indiana Police Department. He's been employed with us since 2001. He's a Homer City graduate along with an IUP graduate, and he has two boys, and he coaches a variety of sports. And so he's very much in the community, but he reminded me as we walked over here today that it's been over 10 years since he's been on the radio. So, one of the things that they don't necessarily teach you in a police academy is your radio skills, and that's a whole different skill. So speaking to populations that we're not directly in front of can be certainly a daunting thing for a police officer. But I'm so glad that he's here today, and so that's really where we're at.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. They don't teach us how to be on the radio either.
Understand. Definitely understand.
As you could probably figure out without even much effort. But that's a long time with the police force here in Indiana, and it gives you the chance to get into the rhythm of the job, but also to really get into the lifeblood of the community.
I've been through a variety of years and time and variety of calls and a lot of different activities within the police department here. Yeah. And in the community, plus I'm local, and plus I've attended IUP.
Yeah. So as a sergeant now, yes. Obviously you weren't a sergeant from the very beginning. What are some of the differences in what you do now versus when you were an officer on the beat?
I have more responsibility for the guys that work underneath me directly. I'm more out with. I do a variety of different jobs, let alone just patrol. I'm not just out patrolling with the guys all the time either. I have a variety of different things that I do, including being in the schools and helping out with different aspects of the job for the department itself.
Yeah, and one of that is obviously community relations and being able to not only be a law enforcement officer, but put people at ease around police, which in this country has become a more difficult thing to do. I don't find that in Indiana Borough. I find that the police force itself is very much engaged with the community. Do you see that from your end as well?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always some issues, and it's like, but most of the time there's no concerns. The community is very welcoming to the police here.
Yeah, and having been on the force for so long, of course, as we were talking a couple of moments ago, the September police is a whole different animal from the June, July, August police force in Indiana, simply because of the nature of what you're doing, the hours at which you're doing it. The night times become a much more alert, I guess.
It's more active, definitely, at night. Yeah. And there's a lot more people. And the community, with all the students coming back, the population increases drastically.
Yeah, just by sheer volume.
Yes.
When you basically, Justin, as you know, you double the population of Indiana, when IUP comes back in, that means double the effort from your standpoint.
Well, I'll tell you, it's an incredible experience to see, because it's really sometimes can be a tale of two towns, but yet everyone is connected. So we do go from more of a mundane day-to-day existence to when the university comes back in, things get a bit more active. And for the police department, calls for service, of course, start to increase during hours that maybe they traditionally have not during the summer. There's certainly more police activity at night. I'm not making any indication that's a negative or a positive, but it's just people are up later when school's in session, and the weekends get a bit more vibrant when school's in session. And you can't double the population of town without increasing calls for service. So I really appreciate your comment about the police and the community. I think that I am tasked with carrying a proud tradition of having the police department be intimately connected with the community. I mean, we are the community, and this is really what I hope to bring to everyone who's listening, is that we're not trying to be part of the community. We are part of the community.
Yeah.
Your policemen are graduates of your university. We're graduates of your high school. We're parents, coaches, and so we have a very difficult job, and everyone does it. It makes me quite proud, and Indiana's a great place to live. So I think that all those things together create an environment where we can all interact in a way that's extremely positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, those young folks coming onto campus, they have boundless energy too. We're all getting older. They always stay the same.
It does strike me that as we age, every 4 years, the university does cycle. That didn't really it didn't bother me as much when I was younger, but you can feel it more significantly now. And but it's okay. These are great. These are great. I don't want to say problems. These are great issues to have. So.
Yeah. Mike, as Justin said, you also coach.
I do.
You've got kids in the school system, I
do.
presume.
I have 2 boys.
Indiana system?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you coach?
Football, baseball, and basketball.
Oh, yeah? That's enough.
Yes.
keeps you busy in the off hours, doesn't it?
It does, that's for sure.
Yeah. And you said boys?
2 boys, yes.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So think about what they are seeing of how Dad does his job, and give us an idea of sort of the perspective of a parent who's a police officer and how that influences what you do. When you know that you have kids that are being raised in this community, and you want the community to be something that is not only something for which they're very proud, but something they're very much a part of.
Well, I've noticed since I've had my boys, it's been a lot of I spend a lot more time with the kids in their age brackets. I'm more involved with the schools, and I'm more involved with the sports, and it gives you a vast variety of meeting parents and the children that your kids go to school with, and they are around. So it's very enjoyable to me to be involved with them as much as possible, and to be involved with their friends.
When they were younger, did they come and say, "Dad, kids want to see your badge"?
Well, that's just normal kid things.
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely very enjoyable to be out with, involved with the community and with the kids.
Well, you've both mentioned going into the schools and actually speaking to school groups. Is that something that you're able to do regularly?
Yeah, I go into the schools daily. I'm into any one of the 3 schools within the borough, and talking with staff, talking with teachers, talking with the kids.
Yeah. Let's put them all at ease, number one, to know that you're so a part of their everyday life, and it's nothing to be intimidated by. Here comes a police officer.
Yes.
And by seeing you on an everyday basis and on a regular basis, if not every day, that they have a chance to say, "Oh, hey, look, it's just another guy.
Yes.
It's just he's wearing a badge."
Yep. They all speak when you go to the schools. They all wave all the time, and it's just nice. It's very nice to be involved with the community in that aspect.
As they get older, of course, they'll remember those times too.
Absolutely.
And Justin, that's one of the things that you're doing. You're building a lifelong relationship with young people, particularly.
Well, that is exactly our hope, and there's no more important time to mold the impression of positive policing than with students at that age. And I'm quite proud, maybe most proud of our work in the schools. And I can't speak highly enough of the officers who, every one of them, who take the time to build these relationships. And I would hope that the staff and faculties of the school, and in fact, I know that they appreciate our presence. And but really, it's a wonderful thing. You've said so accurately that by engaging with the police and with the students at such a young age and in such a positive way, that we are truly striving to build relationships that last for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And these are things that sometimes may be difficult to exactly quantify or put your finger on, the positive impact or an impact that you could have. But I'm certain that this is the right path, and I'm certain that our officers and all of the police officers in Indiana understand the significance of being in the schools and creating an environment where it's safe for our students to learn and where they feel comfortable around the police.
Yeah.
And where we can interact on a level that maybe we haven't in the past, but certainly that we should be in the future, because things are non-traditional today. We're dealing with uncommon issues, and society is not becoming less polarized. We're becoming more polarized. And so we need to just engage differently. And that's not a negative thing. We're being flexible to the times, and hopefully seeing lasting positive results.
Yeah, and I don't want you to give anything away here, and I know you won't, but one of the things about being in the schools is you get accustomed to the school setting. You know what's normal and what's abnormal within that school setting. The more officers get into a school building, get the layout, get the idea of what goes on a daily basis at a school, and Mike, you can speak to this, it gives you the chance that when something looks out of the ordinary, looks like it should get a little bit of extra scrutiny, you can do that and do it unobtrusively so that nobody gets unduly alarmed.
Absolutely. I mean, we're there and we can see the differences, or just wrong vehicles in the area or the wrong people sitting in the area. I mean, we see these people and we know what's normal and what's not.
Yeah, terrific.
There is a legitimate purpose for us being in the schools, in addition to building positive relationships. That's certainly the desired effect. But to your point, Sergeant Raglani's point, there are many things that we can detect inside a school, and our presence, we're always present in those schools, just to provide an extra layer. Of protection and enforcement,
and comfortability.
And comfortability is supremely important.
Yeah. You ever stop by and get a free lunch? I'm just saying.
No, but I do enjoy the school lunches from my memories. So,
yeah. The
they
chocolate
eat off
milk.
early these days.
Got to get the chocolate milk. That's what I say. All right, gentlemen. Well, thanks so much. We'll talk with you next month, I'm sure, as homecoming approaches and any special preparations that need to be made. But I'm sure that it's not something that happens the week before. You don't start planning for big events in town the day before. It's something that is ongoing, isn't it?
No, we're already planning. We're planning for events that are going to happen in November currently. So, I mean, we're always planning, and I look forward to speaking to you about it in October.
Very good. Very good. Gentlemen, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1 FM. We're